Hi, welcome back to the channel. It's a beautiful morning. We're in the back garden. It's Isolation Swing Tip Series, and this particular video we're going to take a little look at your swing path. I'm going to try and get your swing path more from that in to out. So if you're a sufferer of maybe coming over the top, hitting that dreaded slice shot, I've got 3 great tips here to help you swing the club more from the inside. Okay, so just before we jump into the video, if you're watching the video and you're enjoying it and you've not subscribed, please just take a couple of seconds, jump in the description down below, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell while you're also in there, so as soon as I post a video you'll be one of the very first ones to watch it. Also hook up on my social media platforms, both Instagram and Twitter, and handles there are at MN Golf Coach. Okay, so that dreaded coming over the top, that outswing swing path with that open club face, we know results in a big sort of slice and a loss of the golf ball to the right of the target for you right-handed golfers. So how do we sort of stop it? I've got 3 really good drills and 3 aspects that really sort of for you to focus on. Something you can maybe do in the back garden. If you can hit golf balls, then fantastic. If you can't, these are still really good drills to help you get a good feel of how we're going to try and get that golf club swinging more from that inside. Okay, so the first tip we're going to use, I'm just going to use 2 plastic cones here from my son's football sort of kit. So we're just going to use those. You can use anything you want here, as long as probably what I would say it's soft. So if you do hit it with the club when you're swinging, it's not going to do any sort of damage. So we're going to position the first cone on the behind the golf ball on the outside of the ball, like so. So about sort of 12-15 inches back, but just on the outside of the golf ball. Then the second cone is going to be a little bit further along, but on the inside of the golf ball. We just need to give ourselves a little bit more leeway, because we know through impact the club will start to come more round. Obviously we're trying to feel the exaggeration of it going more out at this point of the swing, but in reality it does come a little bit more round, so we can just give ourselves a little bit more room that way and maybe a little bit more on that inside. But it's a visual drill, this, so we know that channel now has to go a little bit more sort of through that direction. So let's give this one a go, see if we can just change that side spin. That was quite a nice sort of strike, felt really good. So you can see we've shifted that side spin now from 3,500 R, which is right spin, slide spin, to 270 L, which is a nice little draw. So tip number 2 is going to sort of work along nicely from this position here. So we've got those cones, we're working from the inside, and we can maybe sometimes now, if you're just struggling a little bit with that, we can try and put a little bit of focus into what is happening with this sort of trail elbow as you start the downswing. So we get to the top of that backswing there, we should hopefully have our trail area in a certain sort of position here. We don't have it too sort of flaring out, sort of more of a sort of pointing downwards sort of position, and from there we're just got to try and make sure that gets more connected to the side of your body as you start the downswing. When that happens, you can see it just lays that club back, and more importantly keeps that club head back and behind that little bit longer. If we start the downswing and we just keep that separation or increase that separation that way, you can see it throws the club head out in front of us, it stands the shaft more vertical upright, and really from there you're going to hit both of those cones as you come through that sort of hitting area. Try and blend the 2 together here, so we're trying to get it inside through those cones and then just try and get a little feel of where that sort of elbow gets to on that downswing. So we get to the top there, we try and feel like it just sort of just gets tucked a little bit. The upper arm will definitely be a little bit more connected to the side of your body, definitely not disconnected or loads of room now, so you can see that throws the club out in front of us. So if we can get into that position there, we've got a chance of getting that club working through that avenue of those 2 cones. So just do a couple up to the top, tuck it, feel it. Let's give one a hit. And again, nice sort of strike. That particular one was 690 L spin, so that's draw spin again. Okay, so the 3rd tip here, this is a really good one, very powerful, and I use this a lot when I'm coaching with my students in the studio, is just to place an alignment stick in the net, or it might be out on the driving range in the ground. I've actually just used my son's bike helmet there, just with a hole in the top, stick the alignment stick into just to stand it up right there. Probably just stick something in the ground, whether it's a cane, alignment stick, or if you've got a net like this, you might even want to sort of just draw a chalk line on the net, something like that basically. So that's going to be our target line. So the idea here is to try and get the ball to start more that right hand side of the line. Now just a little disclaimer here, we know club face is very important impact as to where it points, as to whether that's going to help to create the draw shot or the fade shot or the slide shot or the hook shot. Obviously that face in relation to your swing direction is going to make a massive difference, isn't it? So we have got to try and get our club face pointing more towards our target. So as we've changed our path coming more from the inside, we've got to make sure that club face is still pointing at that target line to obviously create a more draw shot with the face being more close to your swing direction. So there is a little disclaimer here, because you obviously can start the ball to the right target just with a massive open club face. So as long as we can get that club face sort of squaring up, you'll actually start to hit the shot pretty square to it. But I want it to feel here, I want you to feel like you're going to send the ball to the right of it. Okay, so obviously you'd imagine if you're going to try and send the ball to the right, you've got to try and swing more in that sort of direction. The last thing you'd really want to do is swing this way, swing the club left, but you're trying to start the ball out to the right. Okay, so as long as the club face is squaring up, we can get that club working out what feels to the right. It might feel like you're going to start the ball to the right. So imagine a scenario where that's a tree, that alignment stick's a tree, and you're trying to sort of draw one around that tree. So you've got to start it out to the right. So the club face has to be fractionally open in relation to your target to start the ball there, but then the path needs to be further to the right, obviously, to make it draw back. Okay, let's give this one a go. So we've built in a lot of swings here with the cones. We've got some good feels. We've associated that trail elbow, that trail upper arm to be a little bit more connected, and if we can blend those in, we should get that feel like we can start that ball a little bit more up that right hand side. I don't want you to change your alignment here, so I don't want you to cheat and aim right. Okay, keep your alignment as square as you can be. You know, if you feel like you want to put alignment sticks down to make sure you are square, great, you can do that. I'm just going to try and start to the right of that stick. Really good shot. Yeah, that just started a fraction to the right, and that's got 620 L draw spin, so that's going to draw back. Okay, so 3 really good drills from my experience of how to get the club swinging more from that inside to try and turn your sort of slices more into straight shots is probably more important here. If you can get a little bit of draw out of it, great, because we all know we can get a few more extra yards with that particular sort of shape. Let me know what works for you to try and get the club more from the inside. I'd love to hear your thoughts there. There's lots of different ways to try and do this. This is just one of my personal 3 sort of favourites I tend to use a lot in a day-to-day sort of coaching scenario. So, but I'd love to hear your thoughts as always, so do comment down in the section below. As mentioned before, if you haven't subscribed, you enjoy the content I'm putting out there, just hit that subscribe button, very much appreciate it. Trying to grow the following as much as we possibly can. We've just got over that 30,000 mark subscribers, which is great. Just want to try and get that pushing a little bit more, and hopefully I can get more really good content out for you guys going forward. Okay, appreciate you watching. Hopefully catch up with you all very soon.